What's the message you want viewers to take away from after? What's the message about, without giving away the ending?
I think the number one message is that that there is a passion and a belief and a support for the pain, from depression to PSD to, that you're not alone, and that, we've gone down this journey with you, and, healing can happen, and obviously it's a slow, long, drawn-out process, but for sure this is something we can all get over eventually.
Right. I would actually second that. You're not alone, and I know a lot of movies like to tie everything up in a nice, pretty bow, and everything's fine, everybody moves on, and it's great, and we're all happy and healthy, and we wanted to just make sure that it stayed real to the ending of they're on the road back, and they all know it's a long road, but they're all on it, and they're in the buggy, chugging along, knowing that if you're willing and a willing participant in healing, it can happen. You just have to be there and stay present and willing to work through it.
And have people approached you after screenings and thanked you?
It's been amazing.
Yes.
It's been amazing.
That's been something I don't know about you, but I did not expect that. We're getting the response, and it's so nice because we made it for people. Not that critics aren't awesome and wonderful, it wasn't even in my head, like, oh my gosh, will they like it? Or what are the critics gonna, I needed to make it for people, and it's actually for myself, a healing process. But yeah, and from all different takes from my small business, like totally out of, we were like, oh wow, right, because of the economy at the time, and people were losing their businesses and their homes and their loans, and I wrote that because that was what was going on, but to hear my son had to do this, and I
feel the connective aspect to it, for people to share. I mean, it's such a humbling thing,
While I didn't lose in this event that you're discussing, my sister did go in a car accident. My mom was like this for a couple weeks, like everything was just, nope, everything's fine.
Right.
It's all fine, that didn't happen, we're good.
A layer of denial, yeah.
Because that's ultimately what it's about.
And how real the situation is, because it's one of those things where I don't know if people really are in tune or want to address how dark depression and PSD can be, and to hear people come to us and say, my grandmother, she completely separated, or my father, and that's one of those things that you didn't expect to connect. We were just kind of telling the story for our own process, and it developed into a movie from there, and then actually we put it out. So you don't expect people to grab you in the lobby and just talk to you and talk to you and talk to you about so much of their own personal, and be so willing.
Helping them to heal, that they're not alone. So that's been a gift.
Absolutely.
It's been a true gift.
And when did it click for the two of you that you wanted to also be behind the camera? I know you have Girls Gotta Eat Productions, and you've done another movie before this together, but when did that click that, okay, let's do our own projects? Well,
that's funny. We did Hypocritic Oath as a test run to see if we could do it. It's a short, it's great, it's powerful, but we have very much a learning process. The camera was fuzzy with the camera guy we hired, and we thought, oh, we'll put this out, and did really well though in terms of just showing it around as a sample piece, I guess, of what we could do with $0. And thought, that's it, that's, no. So it was right around then when we knew we wanted to make After, to give it, to write something, to see how we would perform, and put all the obstacles in. It had animals, kids, and
crowds.
No, all the things you're never supposed to do.
You're not supposed to tell a drama, and you're not. Sorry.
I'm like, screw it. Why don't we'll just let's just get it over with. And so Girls Gotta Eat was actually just my loan out as an actor. I think a lot of us just have loan out companies, so for purposes, tax purposes and whatnot. And so it became it was like, that's our production company name. We're gonna just be able to do that. And After came about when we had some bites, but they wanted to Yeah, change this and change this and change that, and Hollywood too much up this. Look, I get that for dramatic purposes we had to up the stakes. You know, you've got to make it a little on the up the stakes side, but the things they wanted to do, like, no, we can do better and we can do this.
Yeah, I think for us it became, you know, I think more for Sabrina than myself, because I just got caught in the wind of this, so to speak. You know, this was not an expected. I didn't start off my life going, I'm going to be a filmmaker. You know, this was a process in which I found myself stepping up to the challenge, and it was, you know, the light had shined down. That was it, done. So I think one of the big things is that the script started as a healing process for Sabrina in a medium that she could convey it. And
sort of, because I never wrote before. It was a diary, really.
Yeah, and it wasn't something that we had, you know, we were going to make a film and everything like that. It was something that started as a healing piece, and then as it started to build, and we started to realize that this is our story, and we need to tell this story and communicate it out to the world. And of course, once you tap into the creative element, right, all of a sudden it's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It just spawns. I mean, Sabrina wrote this. It took years to get it molded for her and make it feel right. And then she banged out 2 unbelievable scripts within a month right after that. You know, and it
I made the mistake of, once we decided we're going to do this, because for me it was about hitting rock bottom. You know, how do I heal myself? How do I get out of my depression and our level of PTSD from this? Because home for the whole thing, and I needed to do something that, you know, because the only place is up from rock bottom. So what is that? What does that look like? How would my family react if that happened to me? Because it was very close that it did happen, almost was me. So how would they react? And I just sort of built it from there to find that dark place. And only then could I see it, because once you can see something, I think, head on, then you can find your way to heal or fix. You know, only see solution instead of problem. So that was what I needed to do, you know, to fix myself. And then some friends were like, what, you're doing this? And they read it and they're like, do you know how many people? Because it isn't just about that event. Like I say, you know, we don't, as survivors, corner the market on grief. We don't own that. There's a lot of people that go through this every day, all over the world, and it needed to ultimately be about loss. Like, I couldn't write about a car accident or a murder, because that wasn't my experience. I could only write about my experience and what happened. So,
switching gears a little bit, what motivates the two of you to stay in this business? What is it? Was it the first thing that initially, you know, you'd started modeling and back, I don't know, in New York or something, and then transitioned to acting, but what motivates you to continue on? And has that motivation changed? Has it shifted?
There's something, I can't speak for her, because obviously we have, I mean, it's as much of a unit as we are, we do kind of separate ourselves with things. I mean, she's an actor, and you know, my side of it is completely different. I think for me, there's something deep inside that it is tapped into, you know, that I was not aware of as I had gone into maturity or anything like that. I think the being able to tell important stories and to be able to pull that from a deeper place, the satisfaction is beyond the fame or the money or anything. It's
because there isn't any of that.
The
clearly not about that.
the collaborative side of it, you know, was very much this thing that I was not aware of, and that's the drive. I mean, now that this has happened, I plan on doing this until I'm in a wheelchair and dead, and I'm not going anywhere. So,
for me, I think motivation, I don't look at necessarily motivational. For me, I am constantly learning.
Yeah.
I get to always be expanding my head, and I'm always in a place of creation. And to be able to tell like our next one is Craftique. It's a craft show mockumentary. Dawn is a broad comedy, and hopefully at the same time, Perico, which is a true story about a drug kingpin, you know, its ultimate rise, fall, and redemption. So, and I thought, I get, oh great, I get to learn about that world, and I get to learn about this world, and be able to share that with people.
And you fall into these things, and they just become something, I don't know what it is, maybe it's something in our crazy mental psyche in the Hollywood world where you feel so compelled that you have to, and it's despite the pain and the ups and the downs and the struggles, it's just something that you have to share. You know, and that's one of the things that I think AFTER has taught us, and now going into future projects, there's such an eye-opening experience for the whole gamut of the business, but just the need to share this with other people in the world, you know?
Yeah, I just like to learn. I just love learning. Every project is different, you know? Growing up, I was like that. Oh, today I'm going to be an astronaut. Today I'm going to be a doctor. Oh, today I'm going to do this. Oh, you know what? Veterinarian. And, you know, and it became clear that, you know, perhaps you may want to think about, you know, I knew as a kid, but I was pushed to college and business and stuff, and then I came back to it. So, because I love stepping in shoes for that time period and learning that as much as I can. It's a driving force. I just crave it. Nice. Knowledge. And I get to do that.
Any advice for people back in Rochester that want to come to LA?
Do it.
Do it.
Follow your passion.
You mean you're talking to people that jump off cliffs and figure it out on the way down, so do it.
Do you bring a parachute? No.
Yeah. I mean, you live life. It's not just Rochester, it's jump. Go for it.
Do you follow your love and your passion, and it'll just don't give up. Winston Churchill.
Awesome.